Welcome back to another NBA video here on the Basketball Zone Cowbell Kingdom YouTube channel. I'm your host, Leo Biaz. Today we're talking LA Clippers, the team who I think will make it to the NBA Finals if they can stay healthy. If, and that's a big if. And the reason why, as I mentioned in the previous video on the Laker video, is the depth of this team. Now, when you look at the 25 points and then just being a huge drop off with the Lakers, there's a lot of balance, a big time balance, lots of depth on this team. And that's what I like to see, especially in the playoffs, and especially with my big caveat, role players not having the fans to really pump them up. And I just feel like that's going to be such a big thing, and nobody's really talking about that. So Kawhi Leonard averaging 27 points a game, Paul George 21, Lou Williams 18, Montrezl 18. See, those are four guys, and that's called depth. And that's what I'm saying, where I trust the depth of this team to show up in big moments. And I just don't with the Lakers. And again, it's not that. And again, I'm not a Clippers fan. I'm not a Lakers fan. This is completely unbiased. I just feel like the Clippers are better equipped to make a better run, a longer run in the NBA playoffs, which will ultimately lead them to the NBA Finals. Now, in the Finals, if they face the Bucks, I don't know. It's going to be a great series. And even if the Lakers somehow magically pull out and Kyle Kuzma becomes a star, right, which I don't think is going to happen, they could very well make the NBA Finals as well. But the Clippers, man, the fact that you have a guy like Kawhi Leonard, if one of the best, if not the best defender in the NBA, when it's all said and done, Paul George, one of the best defenders in the NBA, Landry Shamet, very good perimeter defender. You have Patrick Beverley, one of the most peskiest defenders in the entire NBA. So those guys alone are going to make life very, very difficult on you. You have a guy like Kawhi who you can put on LeBron James, okay? His kryptonite. And that's what people don't really understand, is that Kawhi Leonard is just so gifted defensively. His instincts are off the charts, okay? And he's averaging 7.3 rebounds. Lou Williams, as I said in the previous video, he's so good with the basketball in his hand, and he's going to get the benefit of the doubt with a lot of referees, okay? Averaging 5.7 assists per game. His IQ is off the charts, and having that 1-2 punch with the Montrezl Harrell, you know that bench is going to kill the Lakers bench. And it's happened, man. It's happened twice already this year. So I don't see much changing. Like, I just don't. And in all seriousness. And then the very good shooting of a Landry Shamet is like, all right, so you give me all these weapons, and then Reggie Jackson is a huge, huge question mark to me. I don't like him as a basketball player. So we'll see what he does. I think you're just going to have a short rotation, honestly. They must have a shortened rotation. They still have Maurice Harkless, which if something happens, they can bring him off. Patrick Patterson, who is a good shooter. Well, in theory, he's a good shooter, right? In theory, he's supposed to be a very good shooter, but he's been kind of not at his best the past few years. And honestly, man, Paul George has a lot to prove, especially after the last time we saw him in the playoffs with the OKC Thunder being eliminated by the Utah Jazz. He wants to make a mark in these playoffs. And LeBron put out an Instagram post saying, you know what, I'm going to be unleashed. And, you know, I just feel like the championship coaching aspect, which we haven't even gotten to yet, with the Clippers and Doc Rivers, will be such a big variable in them beating the Lakers in a 7-game series. But Doc Rivers is just a hell of a basketball coach. He's going to get on the referees. He's going to help his guys get a lot of calls, okay? And LeBron will get a lot of calls because he's LeBron. But Doc Rivers, I feel much more confident as someone that will put money on these games that the Clippers will win this series. And that's just how I feel, though. Patrick Beverley. Can Patrick Beverley hit big shots when his number is called? I mean, he's going to have a chance to make a huge name for himself on the biggest stage. Okay, he had very good games on Christmas. He hit big shots. He was out there with the threes and doing all this and doing all that, and doing what he does best. Okay, he's a big question mark. If he steps up, then they will for sure beat the Lakers, like guaranteed. But those first four guys, and Kawhi, Paul, Lou, and Montrez, you know what you're going to get out of those guys. And you're going to get consistency. And that's what I don't see with the LA Lakers. I don't know what I'm going to get from Kyle Kuzma. I don't know what I'm going to get from Danny Green. I don't know what I'm going to get from Alex Caruso. I don't know what I'm going to get from Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith, KCP. I don't know what I'm going to get from those 6 guys. A lot of question marks. More question marks with the Lakers than with the Clippers, in my opinion. And for that reason alone, I have the Clippers beating the Lakers and advancing to the NBA Finals. Now, again, the Rockets are very capable. The Mavericks are a dark horse. The Jazz, if they had Bojan, would be right there. The Nuggets, to me, are a question mark because I don't know how Jokic is going to play. He lost a lot of weight. I feel like the fact that he was so big and so strong, he would take advantage of those smaller players. Now, him being a little bit skinnier, did he keep his strength? We don't know these things. Those are all question marks. So we know what we know, and I know that the Clippers have a very, very deep roster, and I just think that they'll be in the finals when it's all said and done. If no one gets injured in terms of a Kawhi or a Paul George or a Lou Williams, if those 3 guys stay intact, then the Clippers will make it. That's just how I feel. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? You disagree? Let's have a great basketball conversation, and I'll do my best to answer all the comments. And you guys can also follow me at Basketball Zone Official on Instagram. We have a lot of engaging content on there that you guys can follow. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and I'll see you guys on the next one.